Today we're gonna make this workbench. I got plans for it and I got detailed instructions on how to make this. This thing is great because I got storage down underneath where you can store full length 2x4s and 2x6s and full length lumber down here below. And it's got a strong top where it'll support things like your drill press, your router table, and sanders and things like that. Great workbench. Stick around and check out how we make this today on my next project. Today's project is one of those projects that I've been designing in my head and on scratch paper for a while, and I finally got it into SketchUp. And let's just pull it up here closer so you can see it. This, and I'll put some pictures on the screen that'll help you out. This is gonna be my new workbench, and it's gonna have lumber storage in the front. This side will go against the wall. This will be open here at the front. Like you see, it's gonna have a solid top, and I'll be able to store lumber there. I don't have a good storage solution for lumber in my shop because it's so small and the ceiling is so short that I can't really put a lumber rack on the wall like I'd plan on doing. I actually bought one that's sitting right behind the camera in the box still. Probably be getting rid of it here pretty soon since I won't be using it. But this will be a great solution for my lumber storage issues that I have. Right now it's leaned up, my lumber is leaned up against the wall. That's not a good solution for me. So I'm gonna get this done. And I've been working on this probably I'm recording this today is Friday the 13th of October. And I've been working on this probably since June or July, this plan that I have for this. So I don't know when this video is gonna get to go live because I'm still working on finishing up the plans to go on the website and writing the article for it, and I gotta start cutting it. I'm about to go get the wood out of the truck, get it on the miter saw, and get this bad boy cut up. I'm starting out here, I'm cutting all of my boards to their final dimensions. I've got 30 inches, I gotta cut them at 31.5 inches, 33 inches, 33.5 inches, and I'm cutting all those right now. Now we're going to go ahead and cut the 33 inches, and I need 4 of these according to my plans. Finally, we need the 33.5 inch boards, which will be for the legs. Since I'm going to be joining these all together the exact same way, I got my rails lined up here. I'm just going to mark them at 3.5 inches. Just like so, and that's just going to be a little mark on here to let me know where to drill my holes that I need to drill them on this side. Probably put 2 screws in each side. Now this top one is not going to be any different than the bottom one is. We're going to measure to the far outside, which is 21 inches. And then we're going to make a mark at 17.5. And that'll leave us our 3.5 inches to put our screws in. So once I got these lines laid out, since it doesn't have to be perfect, and this is just going to be a reference to help me make sure I get them in the center, I'm going to come back and just strike a line down each of these marks. Now I just know I need to be in between those lines when I'm drilling my holes. And I can come down through here and drill all these at once and get it knocked out in a hurry. So before I get ready to assemble these, you can see I set up a stop block right here at 6.5 inches. That's because I'm going to cut boards that will go in here as spacers to separate my shelves. And they're going to be separated at 6.5 inches. So I'm going to cut those right now. If there's any minor adjustments, which would just be maybe a 1/16 of an inch, if that much, it'll be adjusted at the very top shelf. Now we get ready for the fun part. We're going to start assembling these. So I've already checked this up. It lines up square. As you can see here, I have blocks screwed down on my table. That's to line this first one up. Then I'll just go ahead and put this down here, line it up with the bottom. And this edge here, it's going to be square. I've already checked it. I'll check each one of them as I go along with my square here. So now let's go ahead and get some glue on here and get these ready to go. Now that it's screwed in, we'll double check it. And we're square. So that side, first leg is done. Now we'll need these blocks like I was talking about earlier. These will go right in here as a spacer and to add extra support as we build up these shelves. So it's so important that these first ones are done square and level with the bottom so the next ones will line up and so forth. To save time while assembling, I'm going to glue these. Put just, that'll be more than enough glue. And to speed this up a little bit, I'm going to brad nail these for right now. I'll come back and add screws to each of these. Probably put 2 screws in each one, as the glue is going to do most of the work, and it's going to be in this joint pretty tight, so it shouldn't go anywhere. Ready for the next one? Glue again. And this time for the bottom one, or the top one, you'll need to grab the one that's longer, because it will go at the top where it sticks out more. And there's a little bit of a lip on this, so I'm going to trim off a little bit from each of these boards. Again, we need glue and brad nails to hold these in place. And now our last joint here. So our first side frame is done. We need one more just like this one, and then we need to make sure we flip and have our pieces hanging out on this side so that we can get 2 more. It'll be just like this, but it will have the outside boards on the outside for the end here on the left. That way you'll have 2 that are just alike. Make sure you're able to have it line up when you get finished. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a minute. So let's put this one to the side. Off camera, I'm going to go back and add screws in, 2 screws into each one of these joints here. And then it's going to be set off to the side and we'll get the next one done.
For these sections right here at the top, I had to cut about 1/8 of an inch off of each of them. I just made all of them 1/8 of an inch shorter and it'll make it work in the end. No big deal really. The reason why is because most 2x4s are not exactly 3.5 inches wide, and since I didn't account for this, it made them a little bit longer, which is why I had to trim off a little bit in the end.
So as you saw on the first two I put together, I brought my bottom piece. This is the bottom down here, as I've stated. It came out just like this. So that's great because here's the finished one, and it's gonna go just like this on the far end of the workbench. So it works fine just like this. But on the next one, I need this face to be facing outward on this end of the workbench. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna simply take these boards, spin them around. This is still the bottom. We'll attach it here just as we did on the other ones. And now when we set it up, this face will be on the outside on the wall that is on the end where it needs to be. We'll do the next two just like this. There's absolutely no difference except for this. I've got my boards in position over here where they're gonna go, and I went ahead and if you can see that, I've got screws in all of them. What I'll do is, by the way these are gonna line up, I'll have one screw going into end grain and then two screws going into side grain. I think that'll be more than enough. So I'll have 3 2x4s across the front and then 2 across the back. That should be strong enough to keep this pretty tight, especially once we get the top on it. Since there's gonna be so many boards and screws and things, I'm not gonna glue these together. And that way, if I ever need to take it apart, I can take apart these so I can move it if I have to, rather than having to pretty much cut it apart. So I went ahead and turned it on its side so I can get a little bit better grip on it. Now this one will go lined up with the second shelf because I have trim and I have kick plate or lip here at the bottom of my wall, so I don't want that to interfere with it. So you can see here I've got a board clamped across here at the front and the back to space this out correctly. So what I'm going to do is go in and add screws. I got this lined up already. I've already verified that it's lined up and it's in good shape. So let's go ahead and put some screws in it. We'll do the same back here. Now I'll go ahead and take these boards off, move them to the other end, clamp them up there, and get ready to put the next one in. I've got these lined up the same way as I did before. Make sure it's bumped up against it. It's good there. We'll put a screw in it. You can see here I decided to leave this bottom one off, I think because that will keep me from kicking my toe on it. So when I come up to work on this top, I'll be able to slide my foot under the boards that are down here most likely. And so I think it'll be fine. If I need to, I can add a piece of plywood to the top of this to add some extra strength, but really, this thing is very strong. I have no doubt that it's gonna hold me. In fact, watch this. No problems here at all. That is plenty strong. Now I just need to get the top cut and get put on here, so I'm gonna cut the top, come back and get it attached here on the top of this. Alright, now I'm gonna pre-drill these holes and then countersink them. Then attach screws to hold this top on. I'm just holding on with screws. I want to be able to take the top off if I need to take it apart, as I said before. So we'll just no glue. So as you can see, the workbench is completely finished. I put my drill up here. I got a couple more tools I'm going to put up here as well. Probably put my router and my sander. And if you've seen some other videos, you've seen it finished in the videos now from my Halloween projects. I'm pretty sure you can see it in those videos. And I can tell you, I've built this thing probably almost 2 months ago now, and this thing is awesome, and I really like it. I'll show you guys the features that I like the most about it here in just a few minutes. But really, there's nothing I would change about this thing. I love this workbench the way I built it. I added this masonite or hardy board, whatever you want to call this. There's a lot of names I think for it. But I put it on top and on the shelves just to help things slide in better. And I'm about to show you those shelves here in just a minute. I may go back and add some paint to this just to kind of spruce it up, I guess, here in the shop. But overall, I definitely like it. Nothing I would change about it that I know of right now. And I've been using it, like I said, for about 2 months now. As we move in here a little bit closer, you can see these shelves. These are just open shelves, like I said. With the, I believe that they call this cantilever is the type of, I guess, joint or like bracket this is here. But you can see you got room to reach under here, and I got this whole space to pull it out. So when I have a full sheet 2x4 that I need to put it store in here for a little bit, it slides just in there like that. No issues at all. And I can tell you in a small shop, this is amazing having this ability to do this with my workbench. Having 3 shelves, since I have a short ceiling, I can't really store anything on the walls because it just doesn't go high enough. It would hang down low enough it'd be in my way. So this here is great. It gives me a nice strong top and storage here. Thanks again for checking out one of my videos. If this happens to be your first video that you found of mine, click that subscribe button. And you know, I think I'm supposed to ask you guys now to click the bell, because the bell does something different. So if you can click subscribe and also click the bell, that will let you know, get notifications when I upload new videos. Make sure you go and check me out on Instagram and Twitter, and you can go to my website. Those links are all listed below, and you can find them in the About section. I actually have plans for this workbench. If you want this workbench in your shop, you can go find the plans on my website. Thanks again for watching, and as always, y'all will see me next time.